Hello, Arthur, Odin, Blue, and Lola. You guys good? You're just chilling on the path? Nice. Hey there, welcome back to the Dominion server. This is another episode of my Let's Play series. It's been a while, I admit, but I've been busy with work and studies, but I have some time. So I'm able to finally record this next episode, and I have been busy in between episodes as well, so I've not just not been on the server, I have been busy with this cliff here. Now I must admit it's taken a bit of time to get this to a kind of stage where I feel it's finished, but I really like this, especially with the azaleas and having the moss blocks. Rather than just having the whole cliff face as grey, I've got these moss blocks and dirt blocks halfway up as well to add more variation. And then you've got the overhanging tree there, which took a bit of work to get right. And then we've also got the old leaves hanging down as well. I think that looks okay. So in this episode, I want to carry on working with this top area. I have a plan of making some sort of graveyard, an old rustic style graveyard up here, and the idea is that with the pets that I get, obviously I've got some dogs now which I found quite recently, but you know, if they were to come to some kind of horrible end, I could actually mark their grave here. I think that'd be really cool because it'd add some in-game lore to the island, a bit of history, and make some interesting use for this area. I haven't done this. There's a bit of the cliff over here. Well, I say a bit, a lot of the cliff, which is still floating. And this is something which I'll need to work on at some point, but I don't know if I'll get that done in this episode. We'll have to see. I think it'll be cool to have some kind of perimeter fence as well around this area. Not a full fence, but kind of like a broken fence, so it's here and there, with some gaps in between. I think that'll look quite cool, and kind of distinguished from the edge of the cliff as well. So I need to come up with some kind of design for that. It's probably going to be wood, spruce based maybe, with a bit of stone. And I could do with actually expanding the land this way a little bit as well, so there's a bit more room for this graveyard. I'm going to have to figure out a way to access this point as well. So I'm going to have a path come round, because I don't want to keep using the elytra every time to get up here. I want this to be accessible on foot. Okay, I've laid out some kind of boundary. I was going to go with spruce. I mean, I have for the spruce fences, but I've decided to stick with a stone type wall. I think it just looks better, and it distinguishes itself a bit more against the green of the grass and the moss. But the idea is it's not a full perimeter, it's just kind of a half ruined kind of structure. So we've got gaps in between, and over here I've tried to make it as if it's fallen down with the earth essentially, so it looks quite ruined, which is the kind of feel I'm aiming for. I think it looks okay. I'm not sure about these trees now though. That tree I'm fine with. It's this tree here, I don't know, I could do with something a bit taller maybe. So maybe that's something I need to work on in a bit. Yeah, it just looks too short. I don't know why. I think this is looking quite good now. So I've replaced those two trees at the back well, there's one tree at the back, but I've replaced them with taller trees, and I do think that looks better. And then I've also planted another vanilla tree there. So you've got your different styles, bit of custom, bit of vanilla, just to get that variation. And this is looking pretty good. And then you've got the main tree leaning over as well, because obviously it's right next to the cliff, and the cliff is, I'm trying to make it look like the cliff's subsiding a little bit. And I think that works for that area. So the next thing is to actually build some gravestones, and I'm assuming I'm going to do just very small brick or cobblestone graves for now, and then if my pets unfortunately were to die, I could then come in and put a sign on saying the date when they died, and I could, you know, maybe make a few fancy graves for them. But I think this will make this area look better, and it will fill it in, because otherwise it's quite empty just having this with foliage rather than another use. And I want to get a lot of use out of this island as well, both in terms of looks and in terms of utility. So I think having this up here, and it's a good view as well. I mean, what better place to have a graveyard than up here? Got a spectacular view over the rest of the island and over the ocean as well. If I just find a random spot like where that torch is, don't want it to be that big, but how we're going to do this, maybe something like that, the one there, and then a brick in the middle, but no, not like that obviously. Or I could have another one going up like that, another one on the other side. That's kind of a gravestone, isn't it? Could be a gravestone, could have different designs, so that could be one. Maybe we could have one with a bit of cobblestone as well. Just trying to think of different designs. It could be one which is quite small, maybe like this, and then a little slab on top. So literally is just a pillar essentially. And then we could have another one further back here, bit eroded, bit mossy, and then slab on top, I guess. That looks alright. It looks a bit like a scarecrow, to be honest, with arms and a very flat head. Maybe I should expand it slightly this way, because I must admit it is small. I think it's a bit too small, so if I expand this boundary nearer to that tree, it should give a bit more space to this area, I think. I could probably do with putting a path through here as well. The path I've done for the main island is stone, and I don't really want to use stone again, so I'm actually thinking a simple dirt path through this area will be okay. Could have it winding through each of the gravestones. Here we go, so it's only a simple path, and I've only used coarse dirt and path blocks, but I think it does the trick. You may have noticed I have added the orange things known as pumpkins, because it's almost Halloween, so, and it's a graveyard, why wouldn't I? I might also put some cobwebs down as well to make it a bit more spooky. But I think this is pretty much finished now, so I don't want to add too much detail to the graves yet, because I want to signify that they are kind of empty at the moment, and then maybe when I actually fill one of the graves or mark it as being filled, I can add some flowers or something, or a bit more detail. So the main thing now is to finish any vegetation, grass, ferns around the edges, just if otherwise it'll look really empty for some reason compared to the detail of the other parts of the cliff. And Oh yeah, lighting. Right now I have torches, which are disgusting. They can die. So here we are. This is basically the finished graveyard, and it is small, but I don't need a big one anyway. And I think this is a nice little touch to the island, rather than just having buildings. And I've got a wheat field, and then there'll just be mountains for the rest of it, I guess. But having this change of land use as well is something which I've been wanting to do for this island. So I'm glad I've done it. It is small, but I do like it. Those pumpkins. I love this trick with the pickle on top of the pumpkins. They look so good now. That's a big eyesore over there, isn't it? That mob farm I made a while ago. I mean, I'm hoping to demolish that eventually and build something, well, that looks nicer. But for now, and the rates are okay on it. Not the best. For general purpose mob farm, you get some good gunpowder rates from it. This is quite a good view though, isn't it? And there's a random pig stuck on that one block, and it will never move, because if it moves it will die. Hey, maybe we could go in my graveyard. The pig that fell off a cliff and died because it didn't fly, because pigs don't fly unless it's a miracle. But yes, I think that'll be it for this episode. It's not as long as other episodes, but we have got some good progress done, plus obviously all the cliff which I've done in between episodes. Not sure exactly what the plan is for the next episode, but it'll be good to link this up to where the beacons are. I mean, there's all that part of the island to do. There's some farms I want to start as well, and I might actually be able to build something underneath this cliff. There's a big gap, actually, I can show you, which at the moment is pretty empty, and I've flown too low. But this gap down here, it would be cool to have something in here, so I could mine all this moss out. Once I finish the cliff around this side, I have all this space, and I could have some kind of farm, maybe a sugarcane farm or something, a villager hall, you know, something like that. I think would be quite good to go in here. I hope you enjoyed this slightly shorter episode here on the Dominion server. If you did, please like the video, because it greatly helps. And if you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel as well for the latest news and latest videos. Until next time, which will either be on the server again or be a tutorial video, but until then, have a good day. Bye.